Hello, my name is Matthew Krause, and I am a business systems consultant with Opal Business Solutions. And today we will be looking at the year-end closing process for Business Central. Now, the first thing you'll want to do is you'll want to go to your home screen in Business Central. As you can see, I'm already there. Then you'll want to go to your universal search bar in the top right here, and you'll want to search for the General Ledger Setup. So here I'll type in General Ledger Setup and select our option. Now the most important fields here are these first two fields to say allow posting from and allow posting to. So an important thing to note is that even when you close the year end, you can still post to those accounts. But what you can't do is you cannot post to any date range that is outside of the range that you specify within this general ledger setup window. So oftentimes you'll have this range for the whole fiscal year. But if you're closing the fiscal year, after you close the fiscal year, you'll often want to adjust these ranges to represent the new fiscal year. And then this will allow you to prevent anybody from posting to the prior year if you exclude the prior year out of these ranges that you put in the general ledger setup window. Now, there might be some instances where you will want to post to the prior year even after you run the year-end closing process, such as an adjusting entry or fixing a mistake from the previous year. You can easily do that by simply adjusting these ranges, these allow posting from and to allow that range within that. And then you simply can post to that no problem, even if the year-end closing process has already been ran. So let me now take you to the screen where you do run the fiscal year-end closing program. So we're going to back out of this and we're going to go back to the universal search bar and we're going to go to the accounting period screen. And here you can see your fiscal year, how it's set up. So you can see the check mark of the month or the period where the fiscal year starts. And you can see whether the date has been locked or not, or if the year has been closed or not. So we can scroll down here. We can see that I am setting this company up in Business Central by calendar year as our fiscal year, which is often the case for many companies. So you can see the start is January, and then the start for next year is also January for the following year. You can see that all of these are closed except for 2025. So what to do if you would like to close the year is simply hit this button at the top that says close year. It'll ask you with a confirmation window if you are sure, if you would like to close the year. And then you simply hit yes. All you do after you hit yes is it'll run a few processes in the background and it will then close those periods and fill in those check boxes under the close tabs for each period. So as to indicate that it is now closed. So for this example, I'm not going to hit the run button, but all it does is it'll run those processes and mark those boxes. So after you close the year, there's something you probably should do is you want to go to your chart of accounts. Either you can find that under the finance section, or you can see a shortcut that you may already have, or you can simply go to the universal search bar and search for the chart of accounts. Under the chart of accounts page, you can see this function under the home tab, close income statements. So after you close the fiscal year end in Business Central, you'll want to run this process, close income statement. Basically, what this process does is it closes all of the income and expense accounts to the retained earnings accounts. And you'll want to do this immediately after you close the fiscal year end. Now, let's say there's a scenario where you close the fiscal year end, right? And Business Central still allows you to post to a prior fiscal period that is closed as long as it's within those allowed ranges of being able to post. So if you post something, let's say for last year, after the fiscal year was already closed and you already ran this closed income statement, you will need to run it again. So basically, you'll want to run this closed income statement every time you make a change to a prior fiscal year end and immediately after you close that fiscal year. This will help make sure all expenses and income accounts are rounded up into the retained earnings accounts as you do when you run a year-end closing process. And that's about it. So thank you for watching the video, and I will see you soon.